Got me falling right back.
Hello everyone and welcome back. So taking a break from the competitive list that we made yesterday. So I was like, you know what, it's time to go back to the casual stuff and figure out something that's just fun to play and a little bit different. So I threw together a Goblin list and I was like, yeah, you know what, let's see how good Gobos are now that the new set's out. And strangely enough, I ended up winning a bunch of games in a row and I was like, wow, it's more powerful than I thought it would be. So without further ado, I'm going to share the list with you and you guys can watch the games for yourself. I'm honestly surprised it did so well. Maybe there's something here. Maybe if we play around with this and keep going with it, it might turn into something actually competitive. Who knows? So we've got 4 Fanatical Firebrands. We've got 1 Skirk Prospector. I will get into him a little bit later, but basically what we're doing with him is we are trying to cast Banefire for a high amount to end the game whenever we have lethal with it. We have 4 shocks and then 1 Banefire like I just talked about, because Skirk Prospector and Banefire, along with a bunch of Gobos to sacrifice when our opponent's board is too big for us to get through, ends up being pretty good. We have 4 Goblin Instigators, just a token generator, not a problem, but they're both Goblins. So we run 4 Lightning Strikes, 1 Krenko, a 10 Street Kingpin, but I'm really thinking about running 2 of him and 2 Legion Warbosses instead of running 1 and 3. We have 4 Goblin Warchiefs because he is so good in this deck, so good. We have 2 Goblin Chainwhirlers, 4 Goblin Trashmasters, 3 Experimental Frenzies, and 2 Siege Gang Commanders. Now, Krenko Street Kingpin combined with Goblin Warchief, extremely good. Goblin Warchief combined with Legion Warboss, extremely good. Goblin Warchief combined with Siege Commander, extremely good. All these cards synergize so well together and you get so much damage through with them. So yeah, good thing to have. Now, if we end up throwing our Krenko and get an attack with him with a Goblin Trashmaster out, he ends up making 3 2/2 tokens. So very powerful. And then if you have a Goblin Warchief out, all of those tokens have haste, so they attack as soon as they hit the board. It's very good. Pretty simple list. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to let you watch the games for yourself. And I hope you all play around with the Goblin list if you haven't yet, because it's kind of a lot of fun. It's a little bit different than playing your standard mono and red, and it's pretty fun. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the matches and let you see them for yourself. I hope you enjoy. 2 lands. We do have a Fanatical Firebrand in our hand though, so we'll keep it. 1 blue land drop, no play from our opponent at this point. We're not sure what he's on. 2 blue lands, no drop. So now we know that he's probably playing mono blue, so we're not going to attack with our Fanatical Firebrand because we want to have him open to ping his bird when he plays. The Siren Storm Tamer. So he holds off to play a Tempest Digin. We slowed him down 2 turns by keeping our Fanatical Firebrand open. We will attack with both of our other creatures so that if he decides to block either of them, we can ping it with our Firebrand and kill it. Here comes the Siren Storm Tamer that would have been out first turn had we not played the way we did. A Chainwhirler will make quick work of that card, and we'll get through for some more damage. We know he's probably got a Spell Pierce or a Negate open, so the Shock was not the correct play. The Firebrand was, and it looks like we made the right choice, and we'll take the win. Really surprised with how well this deck did. Even though we are in casual, we still faced a mono blue meta deck and came out on top. Okay, the land doesn't tell us much against what we're playing against yet, so we'll just play on curve. The Cruel Celebrant tells us exactly what we're playing against. I probably have played against similar lists to this one about 20 times now. So we'll attack with both creatures, give him the option to block, and we could have played the Chainwhirler in response and killed it, but since he did not take the bait, we will Lightning Strike it and play our Fanatical Firebrand and move on. Another Cruel Celebrant. So as long as we can keep these guys clear of the board and not let him snowball with them, we'll be in a good position. So again, we'll try to bait in the block. Our opponent will take the bait. So Chainwhirler it is. And a third Cruel Celebrant. Doesn't like our Goblin Chainwhirler very much, evidently, so he'll sack it to kill it. It's unfortunate we didn't draw into a land there. Would have really helped our curve out and probably ended the game much more quickly. No point in Lightning Striking that on our turn. It has Indestructible. But on his turn is another story. He's tapped out. We're not worried about a response, so we are safe to kill it. We'll keep a shock open just in case he has a fourth Cruel Celebrant. Or Elenda the Dusk Rose. That will work too. Definitely a worthy shock target. Yep, before he gains life, we will kill the Celebrant. Finally hit our fourth land. He brings back the Dusk Rose with his Memorial to Folly. We feel like keeping Lightning Strike open is more important than playing our Goblin at that moment in time. We can't afford to let him gain the 2 life from his token, so we will Lightning Strike it. Leaves us open to kill his Planeswalker the following turn. Brings the Dusk Rose back, we kind of expected that. So a pretty standard list from our opponent, running most of the same cards that I've seen in the other lists. Taking a second just to figure out what the most valuable Lightning Strike target is, we realize it's his face. So we attack. Before any damage is declared, we will Lightning Strike the face. Just in case he had some form of instant or something that he was going to gain life off of. So we'll take that one. Slow hand, but it's casual, so no point in mulliganing, nothing to lose. We do draw into a Fanatical Firebrand, at least we'll be able to get a little bit of damage through. So, from what we can see, he is Dimir. We were expecting a Thought Eraser, didn't happen. We also didn't get countered with our Kingpin, so that could potentially be very good for us. So Goblin Thrasher, look at this combo. We attack with our Kingpin and 3 2/2s. Not a bad board for 4th turn. Our opponent realizes what we got going on and decides to put a pretty spicy enchantment on our creature. We'll see how well that works out for him in the long run.
Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie.
Luckily for us, our opponent grabs nothing he can use out of our deck, and we will win. That's a lot of Gobo tokens on the board. Packet Man is our opponent. Decent curve, no one drop, but that's okay. A tap land. Maybe our opponent's on some sort of budget. Kinda like Goblin Instigator. It's not a super powerful card, but it's pretty fun when you split your threats up into 2 targets on your second turn. Sometimes it creates a hard decision for your opponent to deal with. Opponent will lightning strike the Legion Warboss, but we'll still get value out of it. Chainwhirler is perfect for his Permamander. 3 more damage through. No reason not to take the damage from Risk Factor. We're sitting really well right now. We will Lightning Strike at the end of his turn, most likely, and then Experimental Frenzy unless we draw into something better. Or we may hold on to the Lightning Strike. Depends on what he does. He concedes, we don't have to worry about it. On to the next one. So the Gobos are doing pretty good, as you can see. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see what kind of list could be made, taking the time to really perfect everything, like perfect the curve and perfect the tech that's needed for the meta, and perfect mostly tech against, like, I guess mono red and board wipes, so like any type of board wipes that would be offered from white or black. Our opponent on a ramped mission, that is our sign to go face with everything we have. Psychic Corrosion, we know, so we see he's on a mill list, it looks like. Keep a close eye on our deck to make sure we know how many cards we have left. Unfortunate drawing into a land at this point, but we do have a Goblin Warchief. At this point, we feel like putting damage to face is more important than putting damage to his Planeswalker. We're kind of in a race. He's trying to deck us before we negate his life total. So everything we play has haste. Our opponent's going to be in a lot of trouble unless he can clear our board very quickly. So we have lethal. Let's see what happens. Pause for reflection. We'll go ahead and shock his Planeswalker at this point, just because we're getting pretty low on cards in our deck. Another pause for reflection. So pretty good top decks from our opponent. Let's see if he can top deck a third answer. He can't, and we will take the game. Thanks for watching the Goblins Wreck House, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, enjoy life.